Hey everyone, how are you? It's Michael. Thank you for stopping by my channel today. I have some really cool news, something to announce. I was asked to join the design team for KCS Designs by Kim. Kim has an Etsy store and she sells digital junk journal paper collections, some digital mixed media papers, digital overlays, and other things digitally for your junk journals and for your card making and other things. And I'm really excited because this is the first time that I am on a team that is not a stamp company. I am not a big junk journal maker. You guys know I make my mini albums and my mini folios and things like that. And of course the cards, but I do love to use digital junk journal papers in my albums and on my cards. And I love to use digital papers as I do digital stamps because once you buy them, they're yours. You can print them in any size that you want. If you are working on an album and you want 3 of a specific design, you don't have to buy 1 or 2 or 3 collections of that paper. You just print your paper or your image 3 times. So today I am going to show you some cards that I made using the Mixed Media Flowers collection. And it's a collection of 12 different papers, mixed media with some flowers. And the idea with the digital papers is like this one, I love this image. I printed 2 to a sheet of white cardstock. You can also print 4. So here I have 4 card fronts if I want to make 4 different cards. You can print 6. These are perfect for, say, journaling cards or a smaller photo in an album, like a mat with a smaller photo. You can print 9, you can print 16. You can also print 1 image, the full sheet, an A4 or an 8.5 by 11. So your flexibility is anything you want. You can even print 12 by 12. For the cards I'm going to show you today, we're using 2 of the same image to a sheet of white cardstock. Okay, let me show you some of the cards that I've already made. I do have a blog post. I made a blog post with these 2 cards. Okay, so this card uses one of the paper designs. I have the full image on the front of the card. I fussy cut these 3 flowers from the second image. I added a sentiment that says just wanted to say, and when you flip it open, I have a sentiment inside that says happy birthday. Just wanted to say happy birthday. And this one is another one of the designs. I die cut this on a 3 3/4 by 5, laid it on some purple onto the craft. Fussy cut the flowers, and you can see underneath it's got 3D image here going on. Another sentiment, collect beautiful moments. So these are over on my blog. There'll be a link below. Okay, here are some other cards that I made. This is the image I'm going to show you how we do some cards today. This is the other image that I did another card for. Today's image and the other one. But there are 12 different ones in this collection. This is one of the other ones. And this is one of the other ones. And this is one of the other ones. So these are really pretty. And if you like what I'm showing you today, or if you want to go check her out, KCS Designs by Kim .etsy.com is having a 45% off her entire store through July 31st, 2025. This paper collection that I'm using today, I think it's $1.92 with the 45% off. You can't even buy a 6x6 paper pad for $1.92. So it's a great deal. Links for everything will be below. So let me take you through making 2 cards. So the first thing you want to do is find one of the images that you like, and you're going to print 2 of them to one sheet of cardstock. It could be A4, it could be 8.5 by 11. I printed these at 52% because that will print a little bit larger than an A2 size. So you could very easily trim these two sides off, and then you can fit an A2 size card die right on the front, or you can fit a 4-inch by 5.25-inch die, or anything smaller. So I played around with the size. 52% is perfect. So you want 2 of your images. We're going to need a craft A2 card. So this is just craft cardstock. I distressed the edges using coffee archival ink. I like archival basically because if this card were to get wet for some reason, like let's say you had, I don't know, a glass of water or coffee sitting on your desk and this was sitting up against it and the water somehow got onto the card, vintage photo distress is going to bleed, whereas the archival will not. So, something to think about. I also used this, a 4 by 5.25 stitched rectangle die. This is from Simon Says Stamp. I'll link this below. To cut 2 pieces of white cardstock that I adhered to the inside of each card for a message. Okay. So now, once you have this printed, okay, for this card, you're going to take if you have these, this is a set from Pink and Main. It's called Stitched Rectangles Set 1, I believe. She has 1 and 2. I'll link them below. Set 1, this biggest die is the size of an A2 card. So I put this through my die cut machine and I die cut it so that we have a full A2 size card front with the stitching on the sides. Okay. With the second image, I used a scissor and I fussy cut the flower and the vase. Okay. So I just fussy cut the flower. I put some foam dots on the back and I fussy cut the vase, but I forgot to put foam dots on the back. So I'll grab those in a second. And we'll get to the sentiment in a second. So grab your card base. We're going to adhere this right to the front of the card. I'm just going to use some wet glue here. You can use double-sided tape if you want to. Okay. So, do any of you guys make cards using digital junk journal papers? I'm curious. Let me know. So I'm just going to adhere this. We're just going to burnish this down a little bit. I don't know where you guys are watching from. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Tell me what country or city are you watching from. It has been so cold here in Brazil. It's not even funny. We're having one of the coldest winters in a very long time, and my hands are so dry and cracking. It's not funny. Okay, so we got our card front. Now, really, you could just do that. You could do a sentiment here: "Happy birthday, happy anniversary, thinking of you," or one of the sentiments from the sticker pack, or whatever you want. That's a beautiful card right there, don't you think? But let's kick it up a notch. So, taking the flowers that we fussy cut, I'm going to remove the tape backing. You could also use Fun Foam if you have those. Fun Foam is huge here in Brazil. They use it for so much, and that's a nice alternative to foam tape if you don't have foam tape available for you. Now, When you adhere any of the flowers from any of these papers, you can't just put it down. Make sure that you're looking at the flower so that you know which way it needs to be glued down. So now here, I know that this flower is cut off here, and I have the same flower here, so I'm just gonna line this up and adhere this down. I did distress the edges of the flower also with the coffee archival ink. I will go and trim this down later just so that it's not hanging off the edge of the card. The same thing here with the vase. Let me just grab my foam tape here. Let's just do 2 of these. So we'll put the vase on next. I distressed the edges of the vase also. Just going to add that there. So we have this here. Now, let me put the pin back in here. Whoop. For the sentiment, I went through, I'm making these both birthday cards, but I went through this small talk pack. You can see I use it a lot. I mean, a lot of the sentiments are gone. And I found 2 sentiments that could be kind of used with the happy birthday sentiment. So for this card, I chose, you can never have too much happy. And then I printed happy birthday on the computer and I die cut it using this stitched banner die from Pink Fresh, okay? And then I used the next size up to die cut a piece of purple cardstock that pretty much is a great color to use with the flower. So what I'm going to do is I am going to adhere the happy birthday to the purple cardstock. And I am able to, we'll do one here. And for the other half, we'll use for the other card. Okay. Whoop. Just going to grab ruler. I'm just going to trim this down. Keep that piece for the other one. So I'm going to trim this down also. So this is what I was saying. These sentiments are made perfectly. Can we focus? For this. We're not focusing here. Okay. The sentiment strip fits perfectly into this die here. So I'm going to adhere this right across the front with some glue. There seems to be a game going on, so there are some fireworks going off, so the dogs are going a little cuckoo. I apologize. Just going to adhere this on the front, like that. And then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to adhere the happy birthday to the front also, but in the center of the card here. Still have plenty of room for a message. I think it's kind of fun to do a sentiment here also. It's different. So while I have this, I'm just going to put this in here. And we'll just trim that off. So this is card 1 with the happy birthday on the inside. And don't forget to put some sort of stamp on the back so that people know you made them a card. For the second card, you're going to again find one of the images. I'm using the same one just to show you. You can use a different image. Put print 2 at 52% on the white cardstock. One we're going to use for the card front. The other one we're going to fussy cut. So for this one, I used a 3 3/4 by 5 stitched rectangle die to die cut that. I burnished the edges with the coffee cardstock, the coffee archival ink. I'm going to layer this on a piece of purple cardstock, and then I'm using a piece of black fun foam to put behind the back, because this way I don't have to use all those foam dots. This is why I was talking about the fun foam is a great way to save money on foam dots or foam tape. And if you want an even higher raised, you can just cut 2 of these. I'm sure fun foam is much cheaper than some of the tapes. So let's get this going here. Just going to adhere this. And the purple cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4. So you have that 1/8 inch border. If you want, you could even trim it down 1/16 of an inch on 2 of the sides to give a slightly smaller border. So that's on the cardstock. Now I'm going to put the foam, fun foam on the back. We call fun foam here EVA, EVA, and that's because the scientific plastic name is a long chemical name that I cannot pronounce. So just going to add the fun foam to the back there. So this will give a nice 3D sort of raised effect on the card front. Then we'll add this to the card front in the center. I find that wet glue works better with fun foam than double-sided tape. Just going to center this here. Okay. So we have our image on the purple cardstock, on the fun foam, right onto the craft card base. And again, the inside is a piece of white cardstock, 4 by 5 1/4 with the stitched rectangle. I really love a stitched edge. I think it adds a little bit something to each card. Okay, so now with the second image, I fussy cut the flower and I added some foam tape to the back. I also fussy cut the vase with the leaves attached, okay, and I added foam tape to the back of that. I'm going to adhere these now. I also distressed the edges on all of this with the coffee archival ink. Just gonna remove the backing here. I'm working on another project that will go live in the next few days. A friend of mine has a free, she does, Frances from Your Book of Memories, she has a free tutorial on how to make one of her albums. It's a new album. It's a really simple album, very easy to put together. So I made the album, but I'm decorating it with some of KCS Designs by Kim's digital papers. So, and I'm using some black and white and some really colorful ones. They go together really nicely. I love it. They're really popping off of the black cardstock. So I'll have that in the next few days. Okay, I'm also working on some cards for some cat lovers and cards for bird lovers. Whoa. Okay, so again, make sure that you're lining up your flower correctly. With these papers, because the papers have this kind of shading around the flowers, even if it's not aligned perfectly, it's still going to look 3D because of the way the papers are. Okay, so we have our 3D leaves, the vase, and the flower. For this one, I went with Make-A-Wish. So I'm just going to trim this down. And I have Happy Birthday, which I will adhere to the other side of this purple banner cardstock. Okay, just going to trim this down. Okay, I think I'm going to add some foam dots behind this Make-A-Wish, and we'll have that as 3D also. I think 3 little dots here will be fine. But on the inside, we're going to adhere it right inside the card because you don't want your card not closing. Okay, I think I'll add this right here. And then on the inside, where did we get our little, here's Happy Birthday. Okay. Just gonna add some glue here. We'll flip this over and I'll put this a little bit up here, leaving plenty of room for a message. So there we have it. Now, yeah, they're simple, but they're fun. Who doesn't love to get like a 3D, I have to put something down to keep this till the glue sets. 3D card. You can even add some stickles or some shimmer or something here. And a quick little happy birthday sentiment. Anyway, I hope you guys like this idea. Remember, check out Kim's store through the 31st to get 45% off. It's already been marked down. No need for a coupon or anything like that. You just have to be on Etsy. And I will be back in a few days with the mini album that I hope you guys are going to love. Links for everything I use will be below. Links for the blog post will also be below with the other cards. And I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.